Okay, this is talking about postural control using stools and a T-stool. So, if you're just introducing some postural control, I like a really low stool, and this is one that you can purchase through Otasket, and it's a 6-inch stool. But you can buy a lot of these things at Marshall's and TJ Maxx. But I like to do this first, and so this can be anybody's choice because we're not going to work on manipulatives now. We're just going to work on getting used to being stationary in one spot. Good job! So it could just be a free-for-all. A free-for-all, keeping your balance while sitting on a small stool. Who is that?
Red.
It's Red.
I'm going to make a slide.
You're going to make a slide?
I'm going to make a cat too. Look at him.
Oh, wow, I like your grip strength.
We're going to have this one.
So a lot of occupational therapists will tell teachers in schools, which is unfortunate, we're not doing that at this moment, but to have a child's books on the floor. This enables them to bend over, lift up, bend over, lift up. When they're sitting all day, it gives them the opportunity for movement input. And children, as we know, are usually seeking movement input. So just having things on the floor like this, they're going to be bending over, straightening up. You want to try to get a birdie with opening his mouth? He can maybe get a big old worm.
Ooh,
So let him open
can I
his
try?
mouth. Yeah, you can try. Yeah,
one.
Redbird. So by bending over and lifting up, they're also working on a needed postural control skill of trunk extension and head and neck extension. So if they do these 50 times, 100 times, it gives them both movement input and great strength to work on their back extension.
You got one.
You got one.
I got
Good
two.
job. You got two. So just the bending and straightening, bending, straightening. It's just a great opportunity to work on the swimming posture of
I see.
extension in their trunk. Okay. So we're going to stop doing this for a minute to show you your favorite toys that you picked out before we started. And you're going to sit on a T-stool. So I'm going to move these ones aside because we don't need to work on manipulation right now while they're going to work on postural control. Thank you, Delia. So I have two T-stools. Thank you. This one is a very small T-stool. And Ezra, this is the second time he's practiced on it. And he's going to work on what's called midline stability. And Delia has never sat on a T-stool. So she's going to try today to sit on one that's more her size. So the most important thing is to have it on a carpet because it won't slide. If it's on a smooth floor, it could slide very easily. And the second most important thing is to have anything that could be dangerous well away from them. Now, we talked to Ezra a couple of days ago about practicing, and one thing so that children aren't afraid of it is to practice sliding to the side. Ooh, he's already using nice protective extension before he was sliding to the side. And what we were looking for is some midline control and what's called head and trunk riding reactions. So if you slide, go
It's
timber.
wobbly.
It's wobbly. How does it feel, Ez? How does it feel, E?
Good.
It feels good. Can you slide off of it and go boom, boom? So his arm came out into protective extension, and he's keeping his head upright. It's not falling to either side. He's keeping his head upright, and his eyes, what could be called optical riding, or head riding, or trunk riding, are trying to keep the world in a very stable viewpoint. So you could try again. Or you could try again. Go. Meow. But he's already mastering this after one time, so I'm not going to ask him to keep falling unless he wants to. Some children will absolutely love the feeling of bottom booms. So I let them explore and challenge their own balance at their own scale. Own time frame. Good job, a nice extension. So a lot of time I also work on children's lower back extension with just the most gentle input to get them to have.
That's kind of fun.
It is actually kind of fun. Now we get some nice imitation It's the sincerest form of flattery. So if you were to see, perfectly fine. And then this is called motor planning, to be able to get back on it independently. So it's really good for children to have that degree of mastery over their posture when doing this. So I don't want to introduce manipulatives just yet. But Ezra picked out this toy, and he's going to show us how it can zoom around. And then Delia picked out stickers. So can you put them on the ground though? Can you do that for me, please? So I'm going to have her work on postural control by doing something on the ground. Then if we really want to analyze this in terms of biomechanics, it's whenever you bend over and lift something off the ground, your wrist is naturally going to go into wrist extension, because you can't lift with just these fingers if you're going down to the ground. So you're naturally going to go into wrist extension. OTs are always talking about wrist extension on a vertical surface, but it also works on a horizontal surface if you're bending over. Look at it. Can you go flying around? Oh, can you still sit? Uh-huh. Which one? Oh, this pen? Are you going to do stickers too?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just letting them do whatever they want as they start to master sitting on a T-stool, having what we would call kind of comfort level and automatic control. But the real technical term is they're disassociating their legs from their uppers. The legs are going to learn to have their own isolated control, much like you have to have with soccer. But the uppers are going to learn some manipulation separate of their legs. So we don't want postural overflow or associated movements, which would be less coordinated, but we want independent uppers from the lowers. And this little one over here has never sat on a T-stool until just now, and she's mastered it easy. And he's flying, he's crossing midline, he's using trunk rotation. So ask them to use their favorite toy and just stabilize on the T-stool. Then we can work on the up and downs and the postural control using a variety of toys that seem natural. Is he going to get one? Does he need to use an Angry Bird to get one? So he's already mastered this in 10 minutes. But other children may take a lot longer. He's going to get it.
That's easy.
There, it's easy, huh? So the goal again is to look for some. Can you put it back in? Let's put them all in and then see if you can get 4 of them. Oh, you want to get them now. It's no need fighting with kids because they're doing their own work. But to place things at their side, we'll work on his trunk rotation and his crossing midline and some goals that we would like him to be able to master. Get it. I think he has to use his beak. Just the front of his little mouth. He is working so hard, but all of that might have caused him to lose his balance, but he's already mastered stabilizing with his legs and isolating his uppers from his legs. Is he going to get the last one? I think he has to use his beak. Right there. His mouth. More closer to his mouth.
I made a copy of it.
Closer to his mouth.
I made a
Here,
copy of
I'm going to hold him down real hard and you get his mouth on it.
I found a copy of it.
Good job.
Whoa, snap. And as long as a child is persisting, there is never a need to step in and help them. He is persisting beautifully. You got him yourself? How did you do that?
I got this.
You want to try again with a, what color is this one?
Red.
You want to try it with the red one? Okay, try it again. So I find that a lot of people feel like their children are frustrated, and they're not. As long as he keeps persisting doing it, I let him have all the time in the world. You get another one? But I think he knows he wants the just right grip. But it's hard, but he's working it. And the point is, he's using trunk rotation, he's using trunk extension, and he's crossing midline. Ooh, can Batman see your toy? So we'll show Batman how to put him in for Batman.
I think.
Oh, that's a good one. Anyway, I cannot say enough about the benefits of a T-stool. Their feet are touching the ground. They're grounded, stabilizing, trunk extension, automatic balance. And
Look at him.
can tell them one more thing that happened this weekend? Delia? What did you learn to do this weekend?
Sit on a stool.
And then something else that was outside.
Ride on two wheels. A two-wheeler is actually a bike. When you have training wheels, it's still a tricycle.
What did your legs have to do when you were on the bike?
Look at him.
Their legs had to balance. What did your feet have to do?
Pedal.
How did they pedal? Did they do it at the same time or did they do it differently?
Kind of differently.
Kind of differently? Can you show us with those beautiful feet what those pedaling look like?
When you're trying to run, you have to you first put one foot on. Well, you could start out with one training wheel. You put your feet on, and then you try to jump, and then you kind of got the hang of it.
Can you kind of show us how you might march or run with your feet right now on the T-stool? Oh, sit on the T-stool though and just show us. That's like sitting on your bicycle. It's wiggly. So show us how you might march or run. Taking turns with those feet. Keeping your balance, keeping midline control, and a protective extension. It's hard. Okay, that's all for today, folks.